Hello and welcome to GWTF Webisode 4. If this were Star Wars, we'd have only just started. Stay tuned for next webisode when I find out the GW mascot is my evil father. Dun dun dun! In politics, Halloween was 2 weekends ago, and I was wrong about 2 out of 3 bets for my politicians' costume choices. Obama didn't dress up as the first black president, and Christine O'Donnell didn't dress up as a witch. However, I was right about Joe Biden's costume. Joe decided to keep on the costume he hasn't taken off since being elected, the Invisible Man. However, I understand why O'Donnell wouldn't want to be a witch. You see, this October marks the anniversary of a horrible tragedy that occurred during her childhood. When O'Donnell was little, her sister was killed during a tornado. GWTF has secured this footage of the accident.
And that's all that's left of the wicked witch of the East.
It's terrible. My condolences go out to her family. Scientists are engaged in a rigorous debate over whether the area of GW's campus should be titled Foggy Bottom or Power Bottom. Submit your vote on the GWTF to help decide. The university has recently narrowed its list of commencement speakers down to 6 possible candidates. But how are they going to replace Michelle Obama? I say they get Oprah. That way, after the commencement speech ends, she can have all of the graduates look under the chairs, and there might be an envelope with a job. The overarching body that governs Greek life on campus was rocked by scandal last week when Tim Holosa, Interfraternity Council President, resigned after members of the Greek organization asked him to step down due to his reckless disregard for other people's personal property. Anti-Host members touted this film at the IFC's last meeting.
I gave my love a chicken that had
As you can see, Hulse really hates people that play guitars at the party. I'm not sure what he's going to do. He doesn't seem very happy. Wait. And here's what got him into trouble. Oh my god. Oh, that did not have insurance. Ooh.
Sorry.
As you can see, clear disregard for other people's personal space. We'd now like to tune in to the GWTF Weather Channel, where we'd be so bold as to say that we're 100% perfect 100% of the time. Yes, we've hired the best meteorologists in the world to give you the most accurate forecast possible. Are you ready? I assure you this will in fact be the weather. There's a 100% chance that it will be partly cloudy yesterday. We'd now like to attune to a segment we call This Day's Tweet in History. We take a historic event that happened in the world on this date and go back to a tweet. Today's tweet in history occurred on November 9th, 1989, when the Berlin Wall was dismantled. Says one East German, "Thank God the wall is gone. Now Hasselhoff can't sing on it." Seriously, his music made me want to kill myself more than the Russians. As you all know, last weekend the National Mall played host to Jon Stewart's Rally to Restore Sanity. And how did they do it? Well, they kicked off the rally with some Roots, and then they had a rather old cat on stage, and then they brought on a guy who's famous for biting a bat's head off. You know what? I feel saner already. Or maybe that's just a brain tumor. But anyways, moving on. GW, we'd like to talk to you about the startling recent rise in laptop theft on campus. As you all know, a few weeks ago, a female student had her laptop stolen right out of her hands in the Gelman Starbucks. To which the Starbucks said, "If you're done using the free Wi-Fi, can you give up your seat?" But just last week, according to a report in the Hatchet, a female student had her laptop stolen while she was sitting in a building on G Street. The suspect then ran out of the door and jumped into a white Infiniti G35 four-door vehicle and sped off into the night. I say, why such a dramatic getaway? And why have all the targets of the laptop robberies been females? They don't even have good porn on their computers. 2 GW law professors assigned a ballot endorsing Proposition 19 in California, which would of course make it legal for residents to possess up to 1 ounce of marijuana for private use. Part of the reasoning is that illegal marijuana trade in the U.S. provides drug cartels with nearly 60% of their revenue, and that making marijuana legal and then taxing it would cut down on a significant portion of organized crime's income. Because we all know that the drug cartels would just stop being drug cartels if it wasn't so profitable. I'm sure they would all go back to their dreams of becoming World Cup soccer players. No, people, they have nothing else. At least the Italians have pizza. In other news, according to a UK-based study, alcohol is more harmful than crack cocaine, heroin, and methamphetamines. The study ranked alcohol as the most harmful out of 20 other drugs, based off the criteria of risk for injury, economic cost, and impact on the community. Because we all know, all of these make sense. A 40 of malt liquor costs at least twice as much as a single serving of crack cocaine. And as for impact on the community, I'm sure we'd all rather have this guy on our front lawn than this drunk sorority sister. But because, if anything, after all, I've learned in college that crack and meth are helpful study habits, like Adderall. But alcohol just leads to pizza and a hangover. And as we all also know, alcohol destroys families, seen here in this photo. Whereas meth brings families together, because it finally lets a teenage girl relate to her grandma. Because after a few months of meth, she too will look like she's 80 years old. In other news, the city of San Francisco has recently banned the sale of the Happy Meal, proving once again that gays hate children. The ban is based off an ordinance that will require meals to meet nutritional guidelines if restaurants wish to include a toy with the food purchase. Which makes me think, I always knew the Hamburglar was a homosexual. I mean, really, why else would he be so well dressed? A tie and a top hat? It's Monday, for Christ's sake. Well, that's all we have on today's episode of GWTF, but stay tuned for next time when we discuss cats in shoes. Will it work?